Today, we are going to review a small-sized all-in-one laptop, Lenovo ThinkBook 14 Plus. Last year, we've recommended ThinkBook 14 for its good thermals, good screen, and abundant I/O. This 14 Plus has H45 processor and RTX 2050 in its 14-inch body and a 2.8K screen. Also, the scalability is good. Seems to be a comprehensive upgrade. Most importantly, it's cheaper than Redmi. A Tier 1 brand unexpectedly has an economical choice. Then, let's check it out. Let's check the specs first. i5-12500H 12 cores and 16 threads. RTX 2050 with 4 GB VRAM and 50 watts TDP. 16 GB LPDDR5 4800 MHz memory. Micron 3400 SSD 4 PCIe Gen 4. 14-inch IPS panel screen with 2800 by 1800 resolution and 100% sRGB. The official reference price is about $988. The exterior is still classic. Metallic build. Two-tone logo on the lid. Lenovo nameplate in the top left corner. 14-inch screen. 16 by 10 ratio. The same base panel as the last general. Integrated touchpad. Full-sized left and right arrow keys. Footpads at the bottom. Ventilation grills in the middle. I/O is the highlight. On the right, there are a USB 2.0, a TF slot, a USB 3.2 General 1A and an RJ45. On the left there are a full-featured Type-C, a USB 3.2 General 1 Type-A, an HDMI 2.0, a Thunderbolt 4 and a 3.5 combo jack. Enough for a 14-inch laptop. The laptop weighs 1.45 kilograms, and it's 15.9 to 18.3 millimeters in height. The adapter has a 3-pin plug, 371 grams. Nothing wrong with it. The 3-pin plug can effectively avoid leakage. But for this kind of office laptop which needs to be highly portable, I prefer 2-pin plugs. Okay, next we're going to test it. First, the screen. There is no information about the panel model. I guess the panel is customized. 112% sRGB volume and 99.7% sRGB coverage. The average delta E is 1.69 and the max is 3.92. The main difference appears in red. Maximum brightness 413.1 nits. BTW response 16.69 milliseconds, GTG 30.12 milliseconds. Overall, the screen does well among products at the same price. Coverage is good while accuracy needs to be improved. You can do the color correction if you need. Next, performance test. We've already done a test on this i5-12500H before. During the 15 rounds multi-core of R20 ThinkBook 14 Plus got 5200 for the first round and 4600 later. CPU power sustained at 80 watts at first, then dipped down to 70 and bounced back to 80 for a while and at last stabilized at 50. Only few 14-inch laptops can reach this level. It got 661 points in R20 single thread, which is a bit lower than 17-12650H. As for the GPU, RTX 2050 has 40 watts basic power and 10 watts dynamic boost. It got 3,799 points in 3D Mark Time Spy, and 4,789 in Firestreak Extreme, 1930 in superposition. Nearly same as the 50-watt 1650T and 6% lower than that of 60-watt RTX 2050. LPDDR5 4800 MHz memory has read 68,000 and write 58,000. Only 119 nanoseconds latency. Bandwidth looks good, but the latency is a bit high. Now, let's run some tests. We chose some low-demanding games. Switch to Beast Mode. Dota 2 replay at ultra settings. It reached 72.7 FPS. CSGO low settings reached 230.27 FPS. Apex Legends 53.9 FPS. Tomb Raider 27 FPS. Obviously, 50-watt RTX 2050 can hardly hold 2.8 kelvins. Its true low-demanding games are playable. However, for those high-demanding ones 4 GB VRAM is not enough. But in 1080p, gaming experience will be much better. Tomb Raider nearly reached 60 FPS. As for content creation, it got 880 points in PS, 751 in A and 613 in PR. Compared with Redmi Book Pro 15, their scores are closed. The main difference lies in the specs of i5 and i7. And due to the small VRAM, the score of PR was a bit lower than that of 3060. Well, next is the disassembly. Remove all the screws to take off the bottom case. The battery is at the bottom with 62 watt-hours. The battery life in PC Mark X Modern Office was 7 hours 7 minutes. The DGPU and high-res screen do affect the battery life. SSD is above the battery. Micron 3400 PCIe Gen 4. The benchmark is as shown. On the other side, there is an M.2 slot. You can add an extra SSD if you need. Wi-Fi card is AX201 with Wi-Fi 6. The memory is irreplaceable. 4800 MHz 16 gigs. Thermals are on the top. Dual fans and dual heat pipes. Room temperature at 25 degrees. Press FN plus Q to switch to beast mode. In stress FPU, i7-12700H was at 83 degrees, 50 watts. In stress GPU, RTX 2050 was at 70.2 degrees, 50 watts, 1665 MHz. In 30-minute dual test, CPU sustained at 73 degrees, 21 watts. Next is exterior temperature. Keycaps in the middle have the highest temperature. The keyboard's temperature is not too high. Next, noise test. In our new test method, when the background sound was 33.2 decibels, noise level under full load reached 44.9 decibels. In fact, ThinkBook 14 Plus has good thermal performance. No matter in stress CPU or GPU, they both reached 50 watts. When the device is full loaded, CPU and GPU didn't even reach 75 degrees. That means thermals aren't utilized to the limit. Let's wait for the optimization in the future. Okay, after watching this video, you must have learned about this ThinkBook 14 Plus. As usual, let's go over the pros and cons. Pros come first. First, it offers rich types of ports. There are 9 ports on this 14-inch laptop. Besides, there is also a USB 2.0. Seems the designer knows well the user's habits. Second, CPU and GPU are cool. In stress CPU and GPU, ThinkBook 14 Plus reached 50 watts. With 20 and 40 watts in dual test, the core temperature stayed below 75 degrees. But now the power limit holds back its performance. I hope there'll be a more aggressively tuned BIOS to boost its performance further. Third, it has good display. 16 by 10, 2.8 kelvins, 90 Hz screen with 400 nits brightness. It can handle office tasks just fine. Though the accuracy isn't perfect, it can be solved by calibration. And that's all for the pros. Here are some shortcomings. Firstly, the adapter is not portable. The stock adapter of ThinkBook 14 Plus is a 3-pin plug. Though it can avoid the leakage, it's too big. Secondly, the screen hinge is not firm. ThinkBook 14 Plus still remains the design of bar hinge. And the damping is not well tuned. The screen is shaky. Third, it is relatively thick for a 14-inch laptop. Its rear is about 18.3 mm, with the footpads it's about 23.5 mm. Lastly, ThinkBook 14 Plus is balanced. It carries the H45 CPU and RTX GPU. And it has excellent scalability. But it still has some problems for now, such as loose hinge damping and limited performance and so on. However, it is still good value. I recommend it to those who want good screen, rich types of ports, and good thermals. Of course, if you don't care about the graphics, I suggest the i5 iGPU version. This i5 has good performance, and $784 is economical. ThinkBook has only been on the market for 2 years. Its products are progressing really quickly. From ThinkBook 14P, 16P last year to this year's 14 Plus, we can see ThinkBook Group has made great efforts. Hope that they can keep on and bring more innovative and brilliant products to us. Well, that's all for this video. If you enjoy this video, please hit like and subscribe. If you want to interact with me every day, please follow us on WeChat official account Biba Laptops. I will talk about a laptop there every day. This laptop may be worth it or not, but all we want is to share information and provide guidance. This is Biba Laptops. I'm Jawan. I'll see you in the next video.